Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth episode of BPL. We have some very interesting segments lined up for you today. First, in Googly, we're going to talk about the super overs. Next, in Bol Bachan, we're going to go over the youngsters of the Indian cricket team. And finally, we have the meme corner. So, moving on, let's go on to Googly. So, Sat, what do you have to say today about the SRH performance versus KKR?
Bro, don't even get me started, man. This is very heartbreaking. Waking up at 6 in the morning and then being like Sunday finally there's a great match coming up, and then I don't know, a lot of craziness in the game also. Like even with the SRH batting lineup, I don't know, like Williamson opening the innings and then Warner like coming in as a middle order batsman. Yeah, what is your
Yeah, I completely share the sentiment. In fact, in California, I woke up at 3 a.m. to watch the game. And from an SRH standpoint, they tried to change things up, change the batsman. Warner came in the middle to strengthen the middle order. And bowling wise, definitely we can feel that Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has a huge impact. Him not playing is definitely causing a big impact on the SRH bowling lineup. And Rashid Khan was not very effective today. Vijay Shankar bowled really well, I thought, with the ball. Coming to SRH's batting, some very close chances. There were a couple of brilliant fielding efforts by Punjab. We thought we had the game. Andre Russell was almost half fit when he was bowling the final over of the match. He conceded 17 runs. We needed 18 to win, which led to the super over. But all in all, a fantastic performance by Lockie Ferguson. He took 3 wickets and gave
where was he?
runs. Exactly. Where was he the entire IPL? He's only coming in to play his first game in the ninth game for KKR. But what a match-winning performance.
By the way, Monish is trying really hard not to be pissed off right now because in the morning I met him before when the supernova was happening and he was damn pissed off. But I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on Warner coming at number four?
I was exactly going to bring this up, and I thought they could have swapped Warner and Williamson. Warner is, I feel, like a powerhouse that has to come at the top, and the more deliveries he faces, the more effective he would be. Kane Williamson, on the other hand, can be that stable guy who can work around the ones and twos when things are not going well, or he can just take a bit of time and smash the ball around. So I
I
think
mean,
that is where probably they could have swapped the two.
Today though, the reason why Williamson actually came out to bat as an opener was because he was having some hamstring niggle. He wasn't able to take the singles or anything. So even like the singles were a stretch for him. So I think the way they just thought of him today is like you go out there, play the power play, express yourself, and then let's see what happens.
So the hamstring thing
Uh,
happened in the match, or he was playing.
yes, it happened
Okay,
in the match.
okay.
I mean,
I,
great for him to even come out and still play.
Was
But
struggling, man.
towards the end of the game, I felt a little more responsibility from Vijay Shankar. The way he played probably could have been a little better. I thought Abdul Samad had an excellent cameo towards the end. Rashid Khan got in and started power hitting. But majority of the deliveries were faced by Warner, and I thought it was unlucky. We conceded. We needed 18 runs to win in the last over. It came down to 2 runs from one ball, and we took a single. I felt like we could have taken the game home there, but in the super over, it was completely one-sided. As were the other two super overs prior to that this IPL. We were able to only score 2 runs. Again, great bowling by Lockie Ferguson. In fact, in this match, uh, he bowled a total of 27 deliveries, 24 during the game and 3 in the super over. He took 5 wickets in total and he bowled 7 balls over 150 kilometers per hour.
That's crazy. Another point that I would like to make with regards to SRH's batting is about Manish Pandey. Like all the team IPL teams have this one senior Indian batsman doing well for them across the season. That is not clicking for Hyderabad. And Manish Pandey over seasons, he has not, I feel, taken that responsibility of being that senior batsman to take the team through on many occasions. That's I think something that some place where they lack.
Yeah,
Correct.
he keeps going hot and cold quite often. But like I think again going back to Lockie Ferguson this game, if you see, I think he also changed it in like the 17th over. Like even until 17, 16, it was looking quite comfortable, and then like he comes in, balls a really nice over, and then he actually may like he was probably the reason why we had 30 to get off 2 overs, and like eventually the pressure built up for the 18-run overs in the last throw.
Right. So let's look at the second game in Super Sunday today.
Oh,
My God.
so just one thing. Me and Shubham had to make Monish up for this to happen. It was between the first and the second super over that we decided that I think Monish has to see this. But yeah, it was one hell of a day one.
Yeah, I was already so low because SRH lost, and I thought, why even watch it? Because I was thinking that Mumbai was gonna win, and also the batting depth that they had. Right, they were 38 for 3, and then Hardik Pandya and Pollard coming in and giving a 50-run partnership. That was fantastic. But yeah, let's talk about what you see on the
Yeah.
screen.
So just to see the first point, how Chris Jordan got run out. So why the super over happened was the run he took. So they were going for a double. They needed two of one ball. Chris Jordan went to the umpires, like, so he was on strike. He took one run, and for the second turn, instead of doing a 180, he moved around the entire, like he did a semicircle and back onto the wicketkeeper's end.
So I
And
think
that
he was trying to obstruct the field. He was trying to obstruct
the throw.
trying to get into the line of the throw.
Right.
So
Also, I saw somewhere that the second run that he took was 22 meters long, and if he would have gone back directly, it would have been 17 meters. And the margin by which he got out was very less, as you can see on the top left. So that 17 and 22 made that difference here, and we went on to witness probably the greatest match in IPL history.
Yeah, KL Rahul doing fantastically as a captain. Mayank Agarwal taking a blinder. He didn't actually take the wicket there, but he definitely stopped 6 runs from being conceded. They only took a couple. But a very important point, guys, as Shivam said, today is definitely a day in IPL history which will go down as probably the super over day, because up till now, in all the seasons, the highest number of super overs for any season was 2. But just for today, this Super Sunday, we had a super over in the first game. We had a super over to a super over in the second game. So there were a total of 3 super overs played today in one day. So, and this season already clocks the highest number of super overs. We're at 5 right now.
Right.
So,
And then I think the star of the match was again Universe Boss Chris Gayle, showing the world what he can do. That first ball six of Trent Bolt was great, and also it was great to see two of India's best fast bowlers do perform so well, Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah. So great match, great day for I think Indian cricket.
and also, it was a fight between Mumbai Indians, which are number 2 on the table, and Kings 11. Arguably, you can also say 1-2 because Mumbai and Delhi keep shifting. It was like the underdogs versus the top dogs. So it was a very interesting match. Like this IPL just keeps on getting interesting and interesting. Now, the last 4 positions in the IPL team, all teams have won only 3 matches and all of them have lost 6.
Right.
all of them collectively are not going to qualify. That's what.
Unless
But,
they manage to win all games going forward.
I want to talk about KL Rahul's attitude as a captain. I think being at the bottom of the table, he has shown great character. And I was really happy that Punjab won today after all that they went through, and it just shows that he doesn't give up. Even when it comes to batting, I think he's holding the orange cap.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very positive sign when you think of the Indian team.
Yeah, I agree totally. And what I look for in a captain, like what according to me is one of the most important qualities, is staying calm and under pressure. And I definitely see Rahul maintaining his cool and not shouting around too much. I think that probably would have an adverse effect on the bowlers, for example. But I think Rahul is showing great temperament as a leader, and his batting is not getting affected. I think probably he's the batsman of the IPL so far, with the amount of runs that he's been scoring along with Mayank Agarwal at the top order. So great signs for Indian cricket for sure.
Actually, and you can see the contrast, right? Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul are the top two run getters in the IPL, but still Punjab has not been able to win as many matches. So that shows what they're lacking in the bowling effort, I was going to say. Go ahead, Satvik.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. Also, I don't know on his temperament. Did you guys notice again? There was a very small incident, but like between, I don't know for what reason, but like I was seeing today after the end of the game, KL Rahul was very angry for some reason between the super overs. He was like arguing with the umpires. Kumble had to come in. There was like a discussion around between the first super over and the second one. I think it was around letting the batsman in or something.
Yeah, I felt like there's a lot of ambiguity, right? It's never happened before. In the history of cricket, it has never happened before that a super over follows a super over. So there was a lot of ambiguity in the rules that were to be followed. Who's allowed to go and bat? Who's allowed to go and ball? So I thought there were some animated discussions which were towards this particular aspect. Well, all right, everyone. That brings a crazy Sunday to an end. Let's move on to our next segment, Bol Bachchan. Well, what do we have here? What's common between Prithvi Shaw, Mayank Agarwal, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Devdutt Padikkal, Sanju Samson, Shubman Gill, Navdeep Saini, Kamlesh Nagarkoti, and Ishan Kishan?
The wall.
The one and only.
The guy who sold me Britannia biscuits as a kid. Rahul Dravid.
Rahul Dravid.
So talking about Britannia, fun fact about Rahul Dravid, his father worked. So okay, what nicknames do you know of Rahul Dravid?
Jammy.
And why?
Because you just said it. His father
Yeah.
used to work for Britannia.
No, his father worked for Kisan Jams.
Acha, ha.
Britannia. He was the brand ambassador of Britannia, but Dravid's father worked for Kisan Jams, and that is why he got the name Jammy. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But guys, just look at the talent in the around Rahul Dravid right now. It just makes me so happy that the future of India is so secure.
I mean, lot of respect to the man, the wall, right? Just dedicating himself to not train the current Indian team, but to train the youngsters who are going to affect and probably become a funnel to the future of Indian cricket. Fantastic.
Also, I think he's like better suited to. I feel like he's probably just the way his personality is. He's better suited to actually groom these young crop of players compared to. Like, I don't know how he would do working with a Kohli or.
Also another thing, he could have gotten any commentary contacts and any amount of money that he wanted because he's a good speaker. He brings that knowledge of the game that people would love to hear. But just this just goes to show the selfless side of the man, where he wants to actually do something for Indian cricket at the grassroots level. And that is what I think. I was a huge Dravid fan when he was playing, and now like my fandom for him has increased much more because of what he's doing with our future.
And also, I feel like, of course, on a very generic level, if anyone asks who's your favorite cricketer, Indian cricketer, a lot of people will say Sachin Tendulkar. But I think the second name to appear on that list would probably be arguably Rahul Dravid.
Yeah.
Such an excellent. Go ahead, Vedant.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to your point. Dravid has played in difficult situations more often than Sachin has. Although Sachin has more runs, no doubt, but he has bailed out India many times.
He took the captaincy when nobody wanted to touch captaincy, bro. He had to manage the star status of Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman, Virender Sehwag, everyone in one game. It was, I mean, wow.
Bro, I think there's a thing with the word Rahul. I feel like all Rahuls are expected to do everything for the team. Like he had to take up wicket keeping for the team again. Similar.
That's a great point. Like Rahul Dravid again showing the selfless side. I think that was the 2003 World Cup, if I'm not wrong, when he was asked to wicket keep out of nowhere. And I was reading somewhere that he was like a part-time wicket keeper in school, but after that, never did that professionally while he was playing domestic cricket. But yeah, just to bring balance to the side, he accepted that role, and India went on to the finals of that World Cup. So
Yeah.
And
This is
definitely wicket
sorry,
keeping, yeah, and definitely wicket keeping is not an easy job, man. You
Tough,
sit
man.
there
It's
the
tough.
whole day,
yeah,
20
you
overs,
wicket keep,
30
and then you
overs,
come
test
one
cricket.
down.
Yeah, wow. So how
there
many
is
Rahuls does India have? Rahul Dravid and KL Rahul, right?
Rahul Chahal. He didn't play for India, but
Rahul Chahar, yeah,
Yeah.
upcoming talent. Go ahead, Sana.
no, I was just wanted to quote. I don't know who said that. I think Harsha Bhogle or Ravi Shastri that if you asked Rahul Dravid to walk on fire, he would do it for the team. He wouldn't
Yeah.
ask. Uh, I'm not getting it right, but if you think from the perspective of these boys around Rahul Dravid, imagine being mentored and coached by somebody like Rahul Dravid. It's just the amount of insights they receive from him. It's just, I think they should consider themselves very lucky.
Yeah, insights and
Although he's
also the way he conducts himself. I think that is also so important. I think we'll have a lot of people with a lot of cricketing knowledge, but having that cricketing knowledge, having seen that star status, and being so humble and grounded, and still so motivated for the game. I think overall could not have asked for a better man to mentor these young upcoming cricketers.
Has a fantastic temperament, can play aggressive, probably the best defensive player to ever play this game. So yeah, powerhouse of talent for sure. And just this one image, right? So
Three
able
couple
to
of years. But it's so ironic that Dravid has not been a part of a World Cup winning team, which is so unfortunate. But he was able to live that moment through the under 19
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, yeah. So I was just saying, okay, let's start probably with the opening batsmen, the two very clear winners, Prithvi Shaw and Shubman Gill. I think great talents, both of them. Prithvi Shaw probably has, according to me, more class, and once he gets going, I think he's a great player to watch. Shubman Gill is very, very highly rated, probably higher than
solid,
uh,
very solid.
Prithvi Shaw in the cricketing circles. Very solid, great temperament, and yeah, so I think both of them combined, top order, like the opening pair looks fabulous.
the maturity, right? The maturity. There was a game KKR versus SRH, and the maturity that Gill was exuberating was just amazing. And Ian Morgan actually let Shubman Gill anchor the innings, and he was just playing the supportive role, which was awesome to see. And the way Shubman Gill carried himself in that game was really, really fun to watch. But Prithvi Shaw, man, fielding, man, it's his Achilles heel.
Yeah,
Every time, every time there's a ball going towards Prithvi Shaw and he misses it, the cameraman intelligently cuts and shows Ricky Ponting's face for Delhi Capitals. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he is a liability on the field, but it's. I'm sure he'll work on that.
Oh, yeah, I think Test debut 100, right? Prithvi when he played.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I remember too.
Okay,
Okay,
but
we
for
should
And
number
fact.
but for number
and
three, what do you say, Shreyas Iyer or Yashasvi Jaiswal? Because Jaiswal is not having a great IPL, but he's a solid top order batsman.
I've become a big fan of Shreyas Iyer over the years, especially because the way he was given the captaincy was very unfortunate. Gautam Gambhir suddenly in the middle of the tournament dropped out saying that he doesn't want to captain the team anymore, and that's when it went into the responsibility went on to Shreyas Iyer's shoulders. At a very young age, he was 23 when he became the capital of Delhi Capitals, and just the maturity he's shown to carry the entire team on his shoulders and then bring up the morale of the team was fantastic to see. And especially the way he plays, I can definitely see him anchoring throughout the entire inning. Some of his shots are super clean, easily clears the boundaries. At the same time, I think he's a great captain as well. So I would say one down Shreyas Iyer and also the future captain of India.